Hi out there in video land. Today we're going to look at historical share price study which I've done. In 2010 I acquired a book, 2011, called The Top 200 Shares or 100 Shares of 211 on the Australian Stock Exchange. And I thought I'd do a longitudinal study, I think is what they call a time series study. And I followed the shares. I actually didn't acquire the book till 2015. I got it for $1 in a junk shop just for a joke. But it became a serious project. I followed the financials, which I'll look at from a fundamental point of view, financial fundamental point of view for another video. But for the actual share price and capital growth and the normal share metrics, I've backfitted a portfolio going back to the data from 2010. Now, a bit of information. I randomly selected 30 stocks and tracked their financial fundamentals from 2015 onwards. Here I form a portfolio of the surviving 13 shares which are either liquid enough or still trading. 8 of the shares were either the result of takeovers, mergers, acquisitions, or a few bankruptcies in there, and some just delisted and became private companies. So that left me with 22, and only 13 of that 22 were liquid enough. That is, the other shares were backwaters. They weren't traded frequently enough to make them viable for a decent portfolio. So without further ado, we'll move on and we'll have a look at the shares. The shares that I formed in the portfolio were Cardno, civil industrial engineers, Cochlear ear implants, biotech, Fleetwood Motorhomes portable accommodation, JB Hi-Fi video and electronics retailer, Monadelphous mining and civil engineering, Metcash grocery and household goods, Queensland insurance, Rio Tinto mining, Select Harvest Limited, Armoured Grower Agriculture, Tabcorp Holdings, wagering and online betting, Tassel Group, salmon farming, Woolworths grocery, liquor, household goods retailer and diversified investments, and WPL, Woodside Petroleum, oil and gas energy suppliers. Now, to Australians, because most of the audience for these YouTube clips are US or overseas, to Australians, a lot of these companies are big, solid blue chip companies. Some are new and on the way up, and they're doing quite well. And anyway, we'll combine them and we'll move on to the portfolio. Now, here are the symbols combined. Now, notice with Australian shares, it's not much interest for Americans. You have to combine the AX because American companies have all these names used as well. So I ran it. I won't run it again. Save time. Now, out of interest sake, Jonathan Registine, not sure how it's pronounced, book Reproducible Finance, and also if you can't afford the book, he has a blog with a lot of the book contained in it and the code. Now, this is his method. It's really good for extracting prices and getting monthly returns. Now, I just break it down. Get symbols is from the QuantMod library. I should show you the libraries I had to load. Now, the libraries I had to load were QuantMod, Tidyverse, Performance Analytics, fBasics and fportfolio. The fBasics and fportfolio are from the R-Metrics team. Library, the download. Now we'll estimate the returns. Get symbols is a QuantMod. That's from the Tidyverse. Map is combining, and that is the adjusted returns, and that's the get command. Reduce and merge, and put the column names at the top. Prices monthly. Now that 2 monthly is not from QuantMod. That's from the Performance Analytics Library. Okay? Don't know why my screen flickers. I think I'm running out of memory again. It's flickering. Sorry. Asset returns return calculate is once again from the Performance Analytics Library rather than QuantMod's monthly returns. Yeah. Now, in order to get my charts, which you see below, I have to convert the asset returns XTS, calculated here, that's the pipe command from Tidyverse, to T-series, time series library. Now, all our metrics related libraries require their own unique time series. It's not a TS, it's not an XTS, it's not a zoo, it's not a Tibble time. It must be a time with a capital S combined series. It's their own unique time series function. Now, anyway, we run it. Portfolio frontier gets the mean variance portfolio frontier. It's not necessarily a Markowitz portfolio, but it does coincide in this case. I'm looking at the minimum variance rather than the maximum mean. In reality, I'm a log optimal growth portfolio person. I wouldn't use the minimum variance, but maybe I'll look at that another time. Anyway, we'll move on. All right. Now, that, we'll look at the first charts. That is the efficient frontier. You can see this line, the small blue line there, is the Markowitz portfolio. That's the efficient frontier there. And the return is about 7.1%. So those familiar with, from probably their college, university days, are probably familiar with these charts. To those who are self-taught or secondary schooling education and basically self-taught traders, it may be new, but it probably will become more common if you keep on researching. Now this is a bar chart frontier. That's a bar chart. Now here is efficient frontier here at a correlation of approximately a bit less than 3.27, which is quite low. The return per month was 0.7% or 0.7%. It's 0.71%. A bit less, about 0.71%. That's the mark there. And you can see it shows the different stocks, portfolios leading up to the optimal one. Just out of interest, you can see that, oh, that's the weight, the weights. Okay, yeah. So the weight of, for instance, COH is about less than 20%. Somewhere around, I assume, 13, 14%. That's a nice chart too. That's the portfolio once again from a different angle. That's from when it was the shares were losing. You can see that Cochlear, when its initial setup costs, you can see there once again at the same point the breakup and the weights. And this is a line chart of it all. As once again you can see that, we'll go back to this, because this is the actual table of performance. And the performance weights are Cardino, 1.8%, 13% for nearly 14% for Cochlear, 6.3% for JB Hi-Fi, 7.8% for Metcash, 16% for Rio, the miner, SHV, which I think is engineering, I've forgotten, is 1.2%. TAH, Woolworths is 37%, which is not surprising. It's a big blue chip. And surprising is WPL's nothing. TGR, 15% in tassels and a fraction in Tabcorp. That's unusual. Let's get the chart again. Where is it? The target returns. The target return was 0.71% per month. Oh yeah, we're isolating the portfolio. Now we run portfolio weights by cluster analysis, K-means. The first two low performance stocks and the third core investments are the third cluster. Now the first two is CDD, Cardino. I think we should take that out, and SHV. They weren't good performers. They should be taken out of the portfolio, which leaves us with JB Hi-Fi, QBE, TAH, TGR, WOW, WPL. The first cluster is Cochlear, Metcash and Rio. So yeah, whether you'd want to invest in cluster, it's probably actually best to separate them. I think it would be best to separate whether to invest them as a group or to separate them and use log optimal growth portfolio formula. I would tend to do that because I'm not a keen fan of mean variance, Markowitz type of weighting. We'll just do 5 to see if there's any more. Indeed, there is another cluster, FWD and MNDAX. Fleetwood did not do very well, nor did MND. So I think clusters 3 and 4 are probably the best. How many have we got now? We've got 1, it's a whole 13, yeah. That's it. It only goes to 5. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the best clusters are clusters 3 and 4. Anyway, we better move on. I think this is taking a long time, this my idle chatter. We'll go to the league table, as I like to call them. Table of annualised returns, table of calendar returns. Now we'll show this one. Oh, where is it? We got it. You can see from 2010 to 2021 by month of the whole 13, the returns. Where's my mouse? Here, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And here is the year's annual returns broken up by individual stock. You can see Cardino had a few great years and then a few absolutely shocking years. And a few bad years, and it's obviously been awarded some big contracts this year. Cochlear is up and down. What these shares tell me is they're great for volatility pumping and log optimal growth investing. Yeah, I personally wouldn't use Markowitz portfolio analysis. They're just too wild. Look at that, minus 84.6, 68.5, 9.3. Anyway, eventually I will be putting this somewhere. It is in a notebook. I might load it to RPubs or somewhere for anyone that's so interested. That's basically how you do mean variance portfolio analysis. That's the code and everything. We'll move on to other topics later. I hope you all enjoyed this in video land. Signing off, thanks.